Okay, as you can imagine, I have two incredibly big topics to talk about today. And yes, I am wearing the flannel pajamas with my jersey. I'll get to that later. But let's get to my low, my high, my act of kindness. I'd have to say that my low was, well, it's not really a low necessarily, but it is sort of inconvenient. Because after church, my father and I, well, for after church, like before we went to church, my father tried to make a reservation for Sorges, and we forgot it was Valentine's Day weekend. So we had to take it to go. Not that it was any big deal, although, let's be honest, when you take home food to go, it's rare that it turns out as good or better than what you get there fresh. I get an order of fries. You know how bad fries, you know how no longer crispy fries can get when they're in the styrofoam containers. And what's worse, they wrap the fries in foil. So that's even more heat and steam de-crisping the fries, you know? It was still good. I still ate it. It was very delicious. One of these days, I'd like to take a photo of what I eat at Sorges proper, like I did for, Libs in the Elbow Room. Or really any place that my family and I like to go to. But, just gotta go for the right timing, Okay, so, I will say that my high was, I got to spend the afternoon and evening with my dad. I'm going to be seeing him later this morning, too. So, it's going to be great. And my act of kindness was, well, I guess it's sort of like a sort of cheap act of kindness, considering that I always do this anyway, but naturally when we take food home for dinner, my father is constantly worried about spilling all over the car, so basically I had to hold on to the food, make sure nothing spilled or whatever. Sorges really isn't that bad. Nothing much gets greasy or leaks out or whatever. Although, considering I just mentioned Elbow Room, the worst sort of spill you can have in your car is anything from the Elbow Room. Believe me, my father, seriously, growing up, my father was like, okay, if you get this all over the car, it will never come out. So I had to hold on to it I could not move in the car, which sometimes can be a little difficult when the car is turning stuff. But anyway, good morning. Happy Super Bowl Sunday, everyone. So, totally not Mark talked about the Pains of Salt arc. So, let's get right down into it. Now, this arc was first animated right as I was finishing up my first year of college. But before that, this arc was hyped up to no end whatsoever. Where do I even start? Sasuke fighting the Eight Tails and then coming to the realization that he's going to destroy the Hidden Leaf. You have Pain, the very person who destroyed Naruto's master Jiraiya, looking for Naruto and going to destroy the village, trying to get him out and try and bring him out and whatever. And then you have quite possibly one of the saddest things I'd ever seen, probably in all of anime, when both Naruto and Tsunade find out that Jiraiya is dead. And trust me, it got me a little bit. This is the guy who was essentially a pseudo father figure in Naruto's life. And he's gone. It was pretty tragic. But then he learned of something called Sage Jutsu. Jiraiya was a sage, so perhaps Naruto can learn it too. And maybe he can do better against Pain. For those of you who are interested what Sage Jutsu is, it's actually very interesting. See, in the world of Naruto, you have your physical strength, and like chakra. However, there's also a third type of energy source, which is called nature energy. As you can imagine, nature energy is completely all around us. So, naturally, if you can harness nature energy, you can become a sage and become even stronger, which is really cool. However, there are a few drawbacks to it. For one thing, whatever animal you're learning nature energy from, in Naruto's case, it was the toads. If you absorb too much nature energy, then you'll become a stone-toed statue. Or toad stone statue. The point is to become a statue, and you don't want that. You really don't want that. Another problem with Sage Jutsu is the concept of getting it seems easy, but the process is actually a lot more difficult than you think. In order to absorb in nature energy, you have to stand completely still. I'm going to give you a second to try and process that because it seems easy on paper, but there's actually a lot more to it than that. Basically, if you're in the heat of battle, you can't stand still. Your enemy's gonna hurt you. Sorry, that's a problem. And it makes sense because think about it. Lots of objects in nature are completely standing still, like trees, for instance. Even some animals, even though they are obviously capable of movement, they can stand completely still a lot better than a human can. So it's actually quite difficult. Naruto was able to figure out how to do it by using his clones as like batteries. So if ever he ran out of Sage Jutsu, he'd be able to disband one of the clones and the nature energy would go directly to Naruto, which is really cool. And then we get to the pain fight. All 6 paths of pain versus Naruto. When I tell you that this fight was hyped up to no end, I'm being very serious. There was fan animation about this. Especially the part where they showed Hinata showing up trying to save Naruto, and she assumedly dies because of it. Oh yeah, and then Naruto goes completely berserk. Like 8 of the 9 tails come out of him, almost releasing the 9-tailed fox. And then, right before Naruto's about to break the seal himself, he meets his father, the 4th Hokage. And naturally, Naruto acted exactly the way you think he would. He punched his father in the stomach. I mean, think about it. It was his father that put the 9-tailed fox inside of him. And because of that, he spent many years being ridiculed and looked down upon and made fun of. And people wanted to stay away from him. Like, yeah. Believe me, my parents did something, not stealing anything inside me, but they made a mistake that, I hate them for. That caused me years of grief. So I can actually relate to this. But through it all, what Pain wants to do in trying to destroy the leaf and capturing all of the Jinchuriki, or tailed beasts, is that he desires peace, but he wants to use nothing but pain to do so. Naruto, on the other hand, doesn't want that. He thinks there really is another solution. But the problem is, he doesn't know. But it's through his determination because remember, the real Pain is actually not among them. That was the message that Jiraiya said to Naruto. So basically, those 6 paths, those 6 people are corpses. The real Pain is actually Nagato, one of the children that Jiraiya looked after in the Hidden Rain Village. So naturally, Naruto and Nagato have a conversation. Because Nagato is essentially like he's got like chakra rods all over his back. He's in a giant like device and machine, whatever. He basically can't even move. He's decrepit practically. So it's not very good. Needless to say, the fact that Naruto is in front of his master's killer, it's hard. Because on the one hand, Naruto absolutely wants to kill Nagato for what he did to Jiraiya. But he also can't help but see, like, this was the threat all along. So what do? So they actually have a conversation about Jiraiya and stuff like that. And, eventually Naruto is able to say, you know what? I may not know the answer, but I'll find a way. Because I don't give up. And right then and there, Nagato realized that that's what Jiraiya always thought as well. So Nagato was moved and he sacrificed his life to revive all the people he killed in the pain in his invasion of the Hidden Leaf. Which was kind of a bit of a cop-out. However, the end result was worth it. Because, by all accounts, Naruto stopped the threat that essentially pretty much destroyed the village. He's a hero. And with all those people revived, he was given a hero's welcome. You know what? By all accounts, in a different series, that image of like everyone in the Hidden Leaf, like picking up Naruto and like throwing him up and down, like yay, yay, like that or whatever. Like seriously, any other manga could probably have ended the series there. But sadly, there's still much more left to go with Naruto. Although we are coming on to the final stretch of it in a way. Although, seeing as how from this point on, I actually started reading the manga. I can tell you that was another 5 to 6 years in real time before Naruto really ended publishing. But yeah, Pain's a Soul arc, one of the best arcs in manga I've ever seen, for sure. It's something I look forward to. Look beyond that, and I would go back and have a fun time watching. And yes, I know all about the meme, the bad animation, when Pain says, my pain is still far greater than yours. You know what? That doesn't bother me. It's fun. It's a good ride. And you should check it out if you can. So, with that out of the way, guys, I don't know how to feel. I mean, well, first let me start by saying I want to give a huge congratulatory shout out to Commissioner Goodell and pretty much every man and woman who works for the NFL, like a staff member, coach, player, what have you. You guys did it. We're still in the middle of a pandemic, and you got through another season. And arguably a little bit better because barely any games had to be rescheduled. So I like to think that this was a success. And now you're at the Super Bowl. So yeah, I consider this year a success for you guys. Congratulations. But I'm just so sad. It's going to be until at best late August until I rock this jersey again. Before I'm able to make NFL picks. Actually, it'll probably be early September. Maybe even mid-September. I'm just so sad. I love making NFL picks. And it always feels so bittersweet because, yeah, at some point, the season's got to end. I do believe there is a saying called nothing gold can stay. So, yeah. This is pretty emotional. So is there any sort of, do I have any idea who I want to win the Super Bowl? You know what? My heart really is telling me, here's the thing. My brain is telling me no. I don't really have Actually, you know what? I gotta start that part over. My heart really is telling me one team, but my brain is telling me another. I mean, my brain is telling me, you know, Matthew Stafford deserves to win this. Aaron Donald deserves to win this. Andrew Whitworth deserves to win. Like, you have so many good people playing for the Rams that are all veterans in their own right. Like, a bunch of those guys are going to the Hall of Fame, and the Super Bowl win would really cap it off, for sure. On the other hand, I can't help but admire everything Joe Burrow and the Bengals have done. I mean, they went to Tennessee and beat the number 1 seed. They went to Arrowhead and took down Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, in the AFC Championship. Only Tom Brady, with a Herculean effort, was able to do that. And actually, it was a Herculean effort that the Bengals were able to do what they did. And I can't help but admire that. I mean, it'd be the first Super Bowl win the Bengals ever had. So really, you only have, on the one hand, my heart is telling me the Bengals because Joe Burrow has come so far. I love to see him do this. And actually, that does remind me, Joe Burrow and Matthew Stafford, this is the first Super Bowl where both quarterbacks are number 1 overall picks. So there's a lot at stake here. I mean, again, Joe Burrow could win this game. A part of me really thinks he can. But I think I'll go with my head over my heart. I think I'm going to pick the Rams to win the Super Bowl. And with Matthew Stafford becoming Super Bowl MVP, do I have any kind of score for this game? To be honest, whenever I make my picks, I never really think of a score. Just simply because, I mean, the numbers regarding a score are so incredibly arbitrary, it's almost impossible to even get them right, so why try? Although, I think we're going to have a relatively close game. I'm thinking 31-34. I think it's going to be close. We'll just have to wait and see till tonight. So, like, favorite, share, and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to turn on those notifications on YouTube. Follow me on social media. And remember that I am very humbled to make this video for all of you guys to watch. Enjoy it for today. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Super Bowl Sunday. And remember, if any of you guys want to talk, the channel will be here to lend in. I'll always have your back. Take care and make good choices. See ya.